Good morning to all. Before starting, I would like to extend my heartfelt apology to delay this session because of the technical issues. But on the behalf of the ITM University, I extend my warm welcome to all the dignitaries, faculty member, and all the participants. Today, we will continue our journey of professional growth and development, focusing on the area that contribute the enhancing teaching effectiveness and overall academic excellence on this faculty development program. The second day of this program aims to provide you with the valuable insight on pedagogy, principle, and approach. We hope that today's program will equip you with valuable knowledge, practical tools, and renewed patience for teaching. We encourage you to actively participate. Let's embark on this exciting day of the faculty development program and continue our journey towards the becoming exceptional educators. Before we begin our session for day 2 of the faculty development program, it is an honor to invite our Honorable Dean Academics, Dr. Sonia Johri ma'am, to say a few words and share their insight with us. Dr. Sonia Johri ma'am has been a visionary leader guiding our institutions towards academic excellence and innovation. With their vast experience and deep understanding of the educational landscape, we are privileged to have Dr. Sonia Johri ma'am provide us the valuable perspective and inspiration. Ma'am, I would request you kindly join us.
A very good morning to all the participants and the esteemed speaker of today's Day 2 FDP program. We are really sorry that we have a delay of just 30 minutes because of the technical issues. Myself, Professor Sonia Johri, Dean Academics, ITM University, welcome our speaker, Professor Malini Singh Bhatti, Vice Principal, CMC Ludhiana, for today's session. The topic in the series of FDP on teaching pedagogy, scheduled by School of Nursing Sciences and Research, is pedagogy principles and approaches, and I'm confident that Professor Malini Singh will provide valuable perspectives and insights on this important subject. As we move forward with that one FDP today, I encourage everyone to actively engage with her and to ask questions and to listen attentively to her words of wisdom. The time we spend with Professor today will undoubtedly be a valuable learning experience for all of us. Please join me in welcoming Malini Madam, whose hard work is a testimony to her unwavering dedication. I wish you all a productive learning. Thank you all and have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your kind words. Now we are proceeding ahead. It is my distinct pleasure and honor to extend a heartfelt welcome to our esteemed guest speaker, Vice Principal, Professor Malini Singh Bhatti from prestigious CMC Nursing College, Ludhiana. We are privileged to have such an accomplished and reserved individual among us, someone who has dedicated their life to the field of the nursing and has made remarkable contribution to the profession. Once again, I extend a warm welcome to Professor Malini Singh Bhatti. Thank you for gracing us with your presence, and we eagerly anticipate your knowledge and address. And once again, I apologize all the participants and dignitaries for the delay, but I assure you your wait won't be waste. I hope you all enjoy this session. I welcome to the Professor Malini Singh Bhatti to address us.
to one and all present over here. Are you able to hear me? Hello. Am I audible? Am
Yes,
I
ma'am, you are
audible?
audible. Yes, you are audible now.
Okay. So, first of all, I'm very sorry for the delay because of the technical issues. As I know you all are waiting eagerly for today's session, and you all are really important for us, as you are our dear ones, and it's a nice time and a good platform which is offered to me by ma'am Mrs. Anushi, and she is one of our colleagues while working in CMC and a very good friend of mine. So first we will deal with what is pedagogy. Today's topic is pedagogy, principles and approaches. First of all, what is pedagogy? So pedagogy, it refers to the method and practices of a teacher. It refers to the method and practices of a teacher. It's how they approach their teaching. Sorry, I'm not able to look for the complete screen. I think it's not visible. Pedagogy refers to the practices of a teaching. It's how they approach their teaching style and related different theory they use, how they give feedback and assessment, they said. So teaching, when people refers to the pedagogy, actually, I'm not able to see my complete slide. From the side, it's not visible. I'm not able to see my complete slide from the side. It's not visible. It's getting cut from the side. I'm not able to visualize it. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now it's visible. Thank you. So pedagogy refers to the method and practices of a teacher. It's how they approach their teaching style and relate to the different theory they use, how they give the feedback, and how they add the assessment, they said. Teaching, when people refers to the pedagogy of a teacher, teaching, it means how the teacher delivers the curriculum to the class. When planning a lesson, the teacher considers the best way to communicate the relevant information to enable the pupil and to check and the best possible learning experience. So every parent wants their child to get the best teaching experience. So pedagogy is one of the method of the it is one of the method of teaching. Next slide. No. Okay. So teaching and learning, they are based on a number of principles. A principle is a standpoint, point of departure, a point of view that is a pre-formulated and accepted in advance, and it is postulated without the necessary unpacking and expanding its meaning in full. So there are following principles. Principle of progressing from the concrete to the abstract. That means making use of all of our senses to aid the learning is a well-established idea, and it has been known for a millennia. So the pedagogical principle of starting with the concrete and progressing to the more abstract has long been recognized, and it appeals to the learner's power of observation. Next is principle of observation. That means the principle of observation, it relies on the live experiences. Most of the common teaching learning aid, it target the learner's skill of observation. So that means whatever we observe, that is based on our experience. Next is principle, not able to see. Principle of, thank you very much. Principle of progressing from the concrete to the abstract, we have done. Principle of observation, we have done. Next slide. No, please back the slide. Back. Okay. Principle of motivation, something was written. Okay, next slide. What are the different approaches to pedagogy? There are various approaches to pedagogy which aims to support the learners through their journey. So they can achieve the maximum outcome employing effective pedagogy approaches. It enables the student to reach their full potential and provide a strong foundation for the learning. This also students to realize their own capabilities, which improve their self-confidence and self-esteem. In return, this increases the likelihood of the students achieving, as they will be more motivated to participate in different activities. Next approach is constructivism. What is that? What is constructivism? This can also be described as progressive teaching style, which is a response to a traditional method of teaching. It basically focuses on the idea that children, they are active rather than passive learners. The idea behind this theory is that children learn through experiences and reflection. Means whatever they experience and whatever is based on their experience, they learn according to that. So constructivist pedagogy, it places the child as the center of learning. So basically here the child is at the center of learning, and it can also be referred to as invisible pedagogy. So this project work, play, exploration, and inquiry-based learning would be the heart of a constructive approach. And it is the role of a teacher to create the activities that facilitates this learning and enhance their progress. Next, social constructivism. Please. Social constructivism. So what is that? Social constructivism, it was developed by cognitive psychologist. The name is Vygotsky, and it is built on the work of Jean Piaget, whose ideas we have covered. So in comparison to Jean Piaget's theory, who purely believed in the child as a centered learning, Vygotsky believed learning is a collaborative process. According to Jean Piaget, what is the idea? child he believed that the child is at the center of the learning. But at the same time, Vygotsky believed that learning is a collaborative process. So in a constructivist pedagogy, the teachers would use their work in the classroom, but they would limit the groups to a smaller sizes. Next. Teacher model. Back, please back. Back. Yes, thank you. Teacher modeling. It is a great way to capture a child's ache, which help them to a valuable lesson. When the children, they observe an adult, whatever we are demonstrating, whether we are demonstrating a task or we are reacting to a situation in a certain way, they catch copy of our actions and they do the same. That means whatever the teacher is making a child to do in a classroom, or whatever is the teacher behaving in a classroom in the presence of their student, they are just a modeling for their students. And whatever we behave, we are demonstrating them. And whatever we react to a particular situation, we are demonstrating in front of our students, and we are like a role model for them how to deal in a particular situation. So this is basically a teacher modeling. We all are teachers. We are the role models for our students. Next. Behaviorism. What is behavior? Behavior is what? It is basically how we behave according to our experiences or according to the situation, how we react. So basically, as we are the teachers, we are the educators, right? And of course, education brings a change in our behavior. So with this approach, the teacher is at the center of all the learning practices. It focuses on the use of direct instruction and the lecture-based lessons to communicate different focuses of the student. So the behaviorist pedagogy, they believe that the teacher should be the sole authority. According to them, the teacher should be the sole authority. But according to the previous approach, according to Jean Piaget, he said that student or the child is at the center. But here we are saying that the teacher is the main person, or is at the center of the learning, or whenever delivering any lecture. It focuses on the direct instruction and the lecture-based lessons to communicate different focuses of the student. So the behavior pedagogy believes the teacher should be the sole authority figure, and it leads to the lesson. So there may be times during the lesson when there is a slight shift and the students become the student becomes the center of the activity. Next. Next slide, please. Libertarianism. It is developed by the Brazilian educator Paulo Freire, and according to this, what is an important what is an important pedagogy approach? During his lifetime, Freire was the director of the Department of Education and developed an approach of teaching that enabled him to teach the illiterate adults to read in just 2 minutes. So it is basically to accomplish this task which is focused on the illiterate adults, those who are not educated, those who are not literated. It is based on those adults and how to teach them in a time period of 2 minutes. To accomplish this, Freire focused on removing the 2 key barriers to learning. First is poverty and second is hunger. there were two key barriers. When a person is not educated, of course, there are certain barriers. That's why the person is not able to get the education. We all are really privileged that we are having a good, good platform for teaching learning. Even today's class is another platform for all you guys to learn new topic. What is pedagogy? What is pedagogy? What are the various principles of pedagogy? What are the various approaches of pedagogy? So basically, this is a platform and we all are really privileged. But sometimes there are barriers, like sometimes the people, they are not able to get the education and they are illiterate. But this person, he is an educator, like his name is Paul Freire, and he focuses on the illiterate adults and how to make them read in just a time period of 2 months. So first of all, he focused on what are the key barriers. So basically, there were the two key barriers, that is poverty and hunger. And he believed as the education was a discovery process, and for it to be a success, the learners and the educators, they need to collaborate together to test the different concepts. Next. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. I think, can we move to the next slide? Are you able to listen to me? Please move to the next slide. So,
ma'am, from this side is some technical issues there, so you can click on from your laptop, so you can control.
pardon?
From this side is technical issues there, so you can control from your laptop.
Okay. Anyhow, it's okay. We are not able to move further. Okay. Anyhow, it's okay. There is a technical issue. So basically, what all things we have discussed in the approaches, we can revise them once again. First we discuss what is pedagogy. So basically, pedagogy is a method of practices of a teacher. Basically, it is a method of practices of a teacher. It is how they approach their teaching style. It basically, pedagogy depends on how a teacher approach their teaching style, and it relates to different theories they use. What are the various theories and how to give the feedback and the assessment they set. So when people refer to pedagogy of a teaching, it means how the teacher delivers the curriculum to the class. So when planning a lesson, the teacher considers the best way to communicate. Whenever a teacher is planning a lesson, she considers the best way to communicate the relevant information, whatever is relevant, whatever is important. So she communicates that information with the pupils, with the students, and the best possible learning experiences. Whatever the teacher has the best possible experiences, she try to make use of that. So this delivery, it depends on the age of the children and the classroom setting, which we will discuss in detail. So what are the various approaches which we discuss to pedagogy? There are various approaches to pedagogy which aim to support the learner through their journey. So these approaches, they aim to support the learner through their journey so they can achieve the maximum outcome. So first approach was constructivism. In the constructivism, this can also be described as progressive teaching style. What was constructivism? It was a progressive teaching style which is a response to a traditional method of teaching. It is a response to a traditional method of teaching. It focuses on the idea that the children, they are active rather than passive learning. So basically, it focuses on the idea. We are just revising the approaches so that it is more clear to each one of us. So it focuses on the idea that children, they are the active rather than the passive learner. And the idea behind this theory is that children, they learn through the experiences and reflection. Whatever experiences we share with them, they learn through those experiences and the reflection. So basically, in this constructivist pedagogy, it places the child at the center of the learning. In this first approach, remember, the child is at the center of the learning, and it can also be referred to as invisible pedagogy. This we have discussed. Okay, so through the project work, through the play, through the exploration and inquiry-based learning, they are the example of what? Constructivist pedagogy. Second, we discuss the social constructivism. What is social constructivism? It was developed by a cognitive psychologist. The name was Vygotsky, and it builds on the work of Jean Piaget, whose idea we have already covered. According to Jean Piaget theory, what he believed that the child is at the center of the learning, and he focused this Vygotsky. He focused on the idea of children and teachers. They are working together to achieve the best outcome. Basically, he focused on the collaboration. So he argued against the notion that learning could only happen in a social context, and he placed more emphasis on the role of a teacher. So in a teacher modeling, what we learned in a teacher modeling is a great way to capture a child's interest. It is a great way to capture a child interest, and it teaches them a valuable lesson. Basically, it teaches them a valuable lesson when the teacher observes whatever the teacher observes, right? And the students, they try to mimic the same. So this was teacher modeling, right? And teacher modeling. After the teacher modeling, what we learned the behaviorism. Behaviorism is the with this approach, the teacher is at the center of all the learning. Earlier, the child was at the center. In the behavioral pedagogy approach, the teacher is at the center, and it focuses on the use of direct instruction and learner-based lessons to communicate different topics to the student. So the theory of behaviorism in a classroom, it is derived from pedagogical research by Thorndike and Pavlov and Skinner. So basically, this theory is based on the research that were done by the behaviorists. Who are the behaviorists? Like Thorndike in 1911 and Pavlov in 1927 and the Skinner in 1957. So behaviorist pedagogy believes the teacher should be the sole authority. According to them, the teacher should be the sole authority figure, and it leads the lesson. So, however, there may be times when the lesson, it is slightly shift and the student become the center of the activity. So children, they then have the opportunity to demonstrate their own learning and the rest of the class. So next, Next, another approach to pedagogy is libertarianism. So this is developed by a Brazilian educator whose name was Paul Freire. And according to this approach, during his lifetimes, Freire, he was the director of the Department of the Education. And he developed an approach of teaching and learning, which enabled him to teach the illiterate in just 2 months time period. So Freire, he focused on removing the 2 key barriers in learning. First is poverty, second is the hunger. So he believed education was a discovery process, and for it to be a success, the learners and the educators, they need to collaborate together to test the different concepts. So they will then have the freedom to choose the topic of the duration of the lesson, and it is the responsibility of the teacher to provide the opportunity for the students to learn and to show off and highlight their learning, right? So being a teacher, it is our responsibility how we teach our students, how we demonstrate them, and there is a room always available for our students to be creative. Like they can be informed, they can be involved in various activities, such as to perform a speech, or to perform a dance, or to form any other type of performance. So basically, from where this pedagogy, at last I would like to conclude, where did pedagogy come from? From where this concept of pedagogy come from? So the role of a teacher, it first originated in the ancient Greece, where teaching was believed to be an art. At the time of ancient Greece, the teaching, it was believed to be an art. Okay, and only the wealthiest member, those who were wealthy, those who were rich in the society, they could afford to send their children to school, and the educators were the key figures in the learning process. So at the ancient Greece time, the people, those who were rich, those who were wealthy, they used to send their students, their children to the school, and the educators, those who were teaching them, they were the key figures in the learning process, right? But it wasn't these educators who were the first pedagogues. So the rich families, they used to do. They used slave to escort their children. They used the slave. They used to capture people. They used to make them slave, those who were very poor. And these slaves, these slaves, they used to escort their children, right, from the school, as they were too important to do so. And these slaves, they also imparted their knowledge on the children. They were the pioneer or the capturing, as they were seen experience in the ways of the world, right? So it roughly translates as leaders of children. So the idea that the word pedagogue was formed, they translate as leaders of children. Pedagogue means leaders of children, and it is used to describe someone who guides their children and the tutors them. So not only the academic teachers, okay, but in moral and spiritual aspects too. So they were the pedagogues. So why is pedagogy important for the teachers? We are just focusing on the various aspects you must have learned also. But why it is important? Because pedagogy is important because it gives the teachers an insight. It gives and all the teachers an insight into the best practices for a classroom setting. Whatever is the classroom setting, it gives the best practices for a classroom setting. As a result, this will improve the quality of their teaching. So this will enhance the teaching quality, and it will be received by the students. So this is an important aspect of teaching learning. So a good pedagogical approach is required for the student with special needs or the students who come from the disadvantaged groups or minors. A good approach is required, right? For whom? For the special students or for those students who have special needs, right? And the approach support the needs of these students and help them integrate better into the mainstream of learning the community. So thank you very much, and I hope you understand today's topic. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your lecture. On the behalf of everyone present here, I would like to extend a heartfelt thank you for Professor Malini Singh for sharing their profound knowledge and insight on pedagogy principle and approach. Ma'am, your presentation was truly enlightening and thought-provoking. Your expertise in the field and your ability to articulate complex concepts in clear and engaging manner have left a lasting impact on all of us. Before we conclude this enriching session on pedagogy, it is my privilege to invite Mr. Dulab Singh Parihar, our esteemed faculty member, Assistant Professor, ITM University, to deliver their vote of thanks. Mr. Dulab Singh Parihar has been an integral part of our institution, making significant contribution to the field of education through his expertise and dedication. Sir, please join us.
Thank you, Ambali ma'am, for your valuable words. So, a very good morning, everyone. I'm Dulab Singh Parihar, Assistant Professor, School of Nursing Science, ITM University. It has given me an immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks for the second day of Faculty Development Program on Teaching Pedagogy, organized by School of Nursing Sciences in collaboration with the Nursing Teacher Association of India. On behalf of the organization, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to our resource person, Professor Malini Singh, Vice Principal, CMC Ludhiana, for enlightening us with their wisdom and experiences. We are thankful to our Honorable Founder Chancellor, Sri Ramasankar Singh Ji, Honorable Chancellor, Madam, Mrs. Ruchi Singh Chauhan, Honorable Pro-Chancellor, Dr. Daulat Singh Chauhan, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. S.S. Bhatkar, Dr. Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. S.N. Khedkar, and respected Registrar, Dr. Omveer Singh, and Dean Academics, Dr. Sonia Jori, ma'am, for their motivation. Sincerely, thanks to the Dean Sons, Professor Minial, ma'am, SONS, for stimulating us through this event. And I must thank the organizing team, NTI team, volunteers, and all participants for making the FDP successful. Finally, I would like to thank all of you present here today and helping us make this event a grand success. So thank you one and all.
Thank you so much, sir. As we come to end of today's faculty development program, I would like to express my gratitude to each and every one of you for your active participation, enthusiasm, and commitment to professional growth. It has been a session filled with insightfulness, valuable discussion, and inspirational movement. We look forward to another inspiring and productive session tomorrow. Let's continue this journey of growth together with a shared vision of providing the best possible education for our students. Thank you. Have a fruitful day. See you tomorrow at the same time, 10 to 11 a.m. Thank you so much for everyone.